The Cleveland Cavaliers finished the regular with one of the worst defensive records in the league, ranked 29th. They have struggled hugely on that end of the floor for a number of years now, but it didn't hinder them in the run to the NBA Finals last and another Eastern Conference Finals berth this time around. It's almost impossible for a bottom two defense to win a championship, and this could ultimately prove to be their downfall. They face elimination to the Boston Celtics in their conference final series as they trail 3-2 going back to Cleveland for a must-win Game 6 on Friday night. The Cavs did well to claw themselves back from a 2-0 deficit as they showed a level of competent defense to protect their home court. But their defensive struggles returned in a 96-83 defeat on the road in Game 5, and their chances of progressing now look slim. Their porous defense has been a major talking point all, and it's obviously something that opponents look to exploit. In a recent interview with the Pull-Up podcast, Portland Trail Blazers guard CJ McCollum described the Cavs' rear guard as the worst he's ever faced. Cleveland is one of the worst defensive teams I've ever played against, honestly, McCollum said. I think it's just the spacing. They've had a lot of different players on the roster throughout so terminology's not the same, the continuity isn't always there. So I think that's one of the reasons why their defense has been up and down. But then, when it's time to lock in and focus on one team, they're a lot better. The Cavaliers blew up their entire roster at the February trade deadline, offloading 6 players and bringing in 4. Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, Jay Crowder, Derrick Rose, Channing Frye and Iman Shumpert were all traded, and Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., Rodney Hood and George Hill were acquired. This move initially improved Cleveland defensively, but they have fallen into their bad habits too often, which points to an underlying problem. But despite all of their turmoil this year, they are still just 2 wins away from making a 4th consecutive appearance in the finals. That's largely thanks to the greatness of LeBron James, who's enjoying arguably his best ever campaign in his 15th. The wine and gold will need him to produce magic once again if they're to overcome the 3-2 hole they're in against the Celtics. LeBron's 7-year dominance in the East is on the line, but he'll have the luxury of going back home for Game 6, where they've only lost once this postseason. Click here to listen to episode 2 of the new Give Me Sport NBA podcast featuring New York Times senior writer Mark Stein. Subscribe for all future episodes.